Hello, welcome back to Raising Arrows Mama. My name is Heather, and today I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about artist study, but we are in my kitchen because it is apple season and I'm working on making a whole bunch of applesauce for my family because that is one of our favorite things. Our garden was a flop this year. Did not get around to growing like anything. Usually I'm canning green beans and tomatoes this time of year, finishing up all that stuff, but I got nothing. So we've got apples from the local orchard and we're gonna applesauce those today. Got about a bushel. I'm going to be using my rotary peeler while I talk to you to kind of calm down the time. And I have some noodles going for some pasta salad for lunch, so I might have to run and get those. But today we're going to talk about artist study and how we do that in our home. If you've been following along, I've been talking about Charlotte Mason's 3 knowledges: knowledge of God, knowledge of man, and knowledge of the universe. And in knowledge of God, we had a whole bunch about hymns and Bible study and how we do that in the home. But then we went on to knowledge of man, and we talked about the subjects of history and writing, languages, all of those kind of things, and then we stopped with arts. Artists study and composer study are what make up the art section, and I'm using volume 6, which I'll pop a picture up here. My favorite one, it's from oh dear, okay, noodles did not boil over. But my favorite copy is from Living Book Press. I don't get a kickback from them. I just really love their hardback print, and I love the neutral colors of their Charlotte Mason volumes. And so I highly recommend you check them out. They're also ran by another homeschooling family out in Australia, but you can get it printed up through Amazon, all these things. So go check it out. It's great. And then in the very last portion of, because it's written into 2 books, the last section of it in book 1 discusses all about her curriculum and how it kind of follows those 3 knowledges. And that's what we've been going through. It's just going through the subjects. What does Charlotte Mason say? How do I use it in my home, in a Charlotte Mason inspired home? Now, we are by far not like strict Charlotte Mason users. If that is you, this may not be your channel. You might want to go check out A Delectable Education or some of those others who are a little bit more strict to Charlotte Mason's principles. Here, I like to take what she shares and then make it work for my family, which is what I recommend for anybody with any philosophy of education and methodology. Take what works for you, but throw away anything that doesn't work for you. And so anyways, all that to say, we're going to dive into a real quick picture study here. And picture study, artist study is really simple. She describes it a little bit more in volume 1, how to do it. But in a traditional school setting, when you do like an artist day, you're like gonna look at some of the art, but you're gonna read a lot of biographies and all these different things. You're gonna like deep dive into a whole unit study. So, you know, you're learning about David and all of that, and you're gonna learn all about Italy and all these other things. We're not doing a unit study. Oh dear heavens. Okay, we'll get that one in a minute. But you are going to learn about the artist mostly through their art. And Charlotte Mason actually says to read a short biography about the artist, not a long one, like a snippet. And mostly you're just trying to fill up their mind gallery, their mind museum, whatever you want to call it, with all those things about the artist so that they have all that art right there. Because while the stuff about their life is really interesting, that's not necessarily what we're trying to go here with our artist studies. We're trying to get them to know the art. And through that, you get a lot of other nuances, but if nothing else, they have those pictures stored up in their mind of that art, those memories, those experiences with that art for the rest of their life. And what detail is really up to them. So I'm gonna do a real quick picture study with you, which is what I'm gonna do with my kids here in about 10 minutes after I finish making this video, and let you know how we do it physically. But a lot of times our family does opt for more biography than others. Why? Because we really love biographies and we get really interested in it. Though with our artists, sometimes we don't. It just really depends on who the artist is. Like Vincent van Gogh, there's like so much available. And Monet, some of these greats are everywhere. Everybody has everything. And we really love the Mike Venezia books. They're kind of silly and stupid, but they're little short picture books with part cartoon, part real photos, if available. and actual pictures. And he has it for artists and composers, and we just really love it. We usually read it over 2 sittings, which will be about 2 weeks for us for art. And he just does a great job. It's a real quick snippet. What are we doing? Artist. I'm trying to make sure I don't get artist and composer mixed up because we do very similar things with them. And so with our artist study, we'll read a short biography. If we don't have like a Mike Venezia book, we also really love the biographies from Simply Charlotte Mason, which is where I buy a lot of our art prints from. They have these great little kits, and they come with about 10 to 12 pictures of this particular artist's work, and then it'll have a short biography that you can read from it, and it'll even walk you through how to do a picture study and everything. They're great. Highly recommend it. That's where I would recommend everybody go. Also, the one I'm going to show you today is from A Humble Place. She follows Ambleside Online, and another great resource. And you can purchase some, which we've done, or you can use her free prints that go along with Amblesides each year. Those are great. That's what we're doing this year. It just really kind of depends what you want to do. Other things I've done is I've done artist days where I have bought a calendar. Actually, I did this back in college. Bought a calendar of that artist that was like from a year ago or something, discounted. And then I just cut those pictures out and use those for our prints. You could do a lot of different ways. A lot of art is in public domain, so you can go and look it up. Wiki art, things like that, you can look it up. And then you can go print it at your local like Walgreens or wherever, even your own printer if you have a really great printer, those kind of things. So really easy. So what I'm gonna do today, because we're starting a new artist, we're gonna start Pissarro. And I am actually not going to do a biography with him. I don't have one. I don't know if there is one. If you have a great Pissarro biography for kids, let me know. I'm gonna give them a few snippets about his life, where he lived, when he lived, and I'm not even gonna tell them his style of art. See, we're gonna use that in our discussion, like how can he know? And then later on, as we get through the next 6 weeks, I'll explain a little bit more, like maybe some of his connections, who he worked with. Better check out my noodles. And so here's a quick picture study. I'm going to hold up this picture, which I found on Humble Place. And I'm gonna hold it up for my kids for 1-2 minutes, and they're going to take all the time just trying to memorize, observe, notice things. All right, I'm gonna cut your time short because you're grown-ups and I got stuff to do. But then I'm gonna take it away and I'm gonna ask them, what did you notice in that picture? And they're gonna tell me, and they're gonna just give me a narration of whatever they saw in that picture. And I have a lot of kids, so I get a lot of feedback. I get a lot of squabbles, but she took the thing I wanted to say. That's okay. Everybody just say one thing is what I ask my kids to do first, so that way everybody gets a chance. And they kind of know what to do at this time, because they'll even point out like what time of day it is, how did it make them feel, what colors they noticed, the brush strokes, some of those things that they've developed over time. But when we first started out, they would just tell me, oh, I saw trees, or I saw a house, or I saw a person, or whatever it might be, and it'd be kind of simplistic. And then after we've all had a chance to narrate and discuss, we're gonna take it back. We're gonna say, oh, what things did we miss? What did we not talk about? Oh, well, there were actually another person way back in the back, and what kind of other things we might. And then I might have some leading questions like, what time of day do you think it is? What season does it feel like? Does it make you feel a certain way? Does this painting make you feel happy? Does it make you feel sad? There's some that make you feel sad. And that's okay. And everybody can have different opinions, and that's great too. My kids might notice, what I'm hoping they'll notice as we go through Pissarro's, oh, he kind of has short brush strokes. Oh, who else does that? And we'll go through that as we go through more Pissarro paintings. But this is just a simple way to do it. And then after that, I just hang it up on the wall and I leave it there until the end of the term. That's our artist study. That's it. Every week, like I said, I might add a little nuance about his life. If I can find a short video on, say, YouTube or something like that, I might show that. Sometimes I'll look for a podcast that has a short podcast. Again, the key here is short. I am talking 10 minutes or less of biographical information. And we only do our picture study once a week. Sometimes it's once every other week. It is not a big deal, but it is still one of my kids' favorite things. They can point these out when we go to the art museum. They can point them out in books. They recognize them. These are friends. They love it. And it's a super simple thing that takes 15 minutes or less each week. Other options you could do is even try to have your kids copy or mimic, maybe with something like this. We're gonna go on a hike tomorrow. I might say, hey, can you guys make, my kids like to call these tree tunnels when you have trees on both sides and they go over. Like, can you make a tree tunnel picture? Or when we're on our hike, I might point out, oh, this kind of reminds me of the painting, or whatever it may be, and make those connections later on. But I won't force it. It's just something natural that happens. I'm hoping my kids will enjoy Pissarro. We'll see. Some artists are not a hit with all the kids, and that's okay. It's all about experiencing it, hiding it in our mind gallery, and keeping those around forever. So I hope that helps with how to do a picture study. If you want more information, drop a question below. I'll do my best to answer it on how we do it. But like I said, best, hands down, best resource, simply Charlotte Mason's picture studies. And I would get those for you, but they're still packed up in my garage, so I can't show you any of them. But anyways, go check those out. And like I said, if you have a question, let me know, and have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.